What's going on, guys? I'm out at Ewing Young Park in Newberg, Oregon. I played Herbert Hoover, the other one, a few videos ago. Wanted to hit this one. It's a little bit longer, kind of old school park with some old baskets, no signage, not much info, but it's still a lot of fun. A couple longer holes, some different lines. I like it quite a bit. A lot of long grass. So hole one, I don't even know how long it is. I'll put the distance on there, but it's in a tree up past this set of trees here. Big hyzer play is usually where I go. It's almost always windy out here, so it seems like the most obvious play. I'm gonna guess it's like 280, 290, but I'd have to look. We'll see. We got a right to left wind here. I'm gonna try and aim for this leafy tree here with my instinct, and hopefully it'll drop right by the basket. I think I'm inside a bit. Yeah, it's gonna be too far left. Well, I've pinched myself off here. I really have two options. I can try and just scoot it up underneath, or I can go to the sky here, try and dunk it in. Take my shot in the sky here. Do it? Ah, worth a shot. And as you can see, these are old Mach 2s. Every putt's kind of nerve-wracking, even these little tap-ins. All right, hole two. It's kind of straight through this little gap here. I don't know if you can see it off in the distance, but probably not. It's kind of straight in between that little tree and the big tree up on the hill. It's like 330, 340 feet. It's quite a ways. A lot of undulations and slopes here. As you can see, the grass is long. If you've never been here before, the layout's kind of difficult to work through. So kind of helps to look at the sign and figure out, take a picture of the sign when you get here so you can look at it and figure it out, because there's no signs, there's no arrows or anything. So I try and go a little bit of a turnover up into the open there, get around these trees to the right, and end up kind of somewhere in the flat. Getting a birdie here is really hard for me. It's a little outside my range. It's going to be left, quite a bit left, but that's fine. It'll leave me a fairly open little hyzer up for my par. Again, no big deal. I'm probably realistically in putt range here, but since it's so far uphill, I'm just going to throw up. I'll try both forehand and backhand here. Whoa, yeeted that. Still pin high. Yeeted that too. Maybe I'm closer than I think. This is a probably pretty academic putt most of the time, but on these terrible Mach 2s, it's a little more nerve-wracking. Yeah. It's all good. Anyway, hole two. Hole three here is kind of a dangerous, spicy little downhill one. Steep slope, right to left, drop off right behind the basket. So distance control is really hard here. Off to the right are blackberries, and down to the left, I mean, it's like 200 feet of roll if you screw it up. So you can either forehand spike this in there and hope it lands, or throw a backhand on a little bit of hyzer so it matches the angle of the hill and hopefully settles down there. Let's give it a shot. It's 235 on the Bushnell, slight downhill, and I got a right to left wind to contend with, so I'm gonna try and give this enough space that it doesn't end up down the hill. That's really good. I like that a lot. Well, left myself a tough putt here. Gonna have to stay low. And again, there's a hill right behind. I'm probably blocking the whole basket. I picked terrible camera angle. Yep. Oh well. Another par here. I didn't roll down the hill, so that's really goal number one on this hole, is not to end up down the hill somewhere. Well, hole four, the first long one. This kind of one of the things that's cool about this park in particular versus the other kind of smaller pitch and putts in the area is this has a couple like full yeets on it, which is great. This is like 435 on the Bushnell. It is way down there. Not much elevation change from the T-pad here. There's a lot of thick blackberry bushes to the right and this big tree to the left. So really, you know, unless you have 400 plus power, you know, you're just trying to get it out in the open and give yourself an easy second shot. Behind the basket, there is kind of a cliff rollaway, but it's a good 30, 40 feet past it. So really, you're just trying to get out in the field. Off and on headwind here, gonna go back to this Withers force. It's a very throwable force so far. I like it quite a bit. It's a warm day today and it's very gummy, tacky ESP. That'll play. Well, these forces bomb, man. I threw this about 395, 390. Left myself maybe 35, 40 feet to the basket here. It's definitely flat foot putting range. There is quite a bit of wind right to left, so I'll try and give this a shot anyway. That's fine. Tap in. Still really proud of this. These are great. I love it. 5 here is kind of the inverse of 4, back down the same field, much tighter gaps. You can kind of see it down there. Bushnell is like 340-ish, but it's really hard to tell. To the right, there's this row of trees. There's a little drop down to the path, and then there's a steep drop down to the river. So if you're right, like it's still a gettable shot. You can get your disc back, but it's just tough to find it if you're down there. So definitely better to stay in the fairway, even to be out left and just have a pitch up for your par than it is to go down the hill. I'm gonna try this Withers force on a bit of a turnover. Get out of the tree. Oh well, easy pitch up. Well, this is not good, but it's not down the hill, so I'll take my 60 foot, 70 foot pitch up here, probably more than 70 actually. Get down. Yeah, fairly easy tap in. Next one's kind of an obvious forehand hole. I don't really have a big enough forehand to get anywhere close. It's like 340, slopes down to the right, but the basket's down at the bottom of the hill. Again, the big obstacle is not going too far right into the stuff off the path. It's really thick at this time of year and can just be absolute death. So again, fading out early and being up in the left is a lot better than being off to the right and in jail. Go, 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 go. Okay, that'll be fine. I've done pretty well here, circle's edge. See if I can get one to stick. Putting has been very spray and pray today. Oh, that's pretty good. No, that's way too bad. Oh well, another par. Hole 7. It's up on the side of the hill there. It's like 410, 420 feet, something like that. Downhill a little bit. Always windy up here too. Got right to left tail right now. I'm just gonna give it a bunch of space and try and spike into the hill and get as close as I can. With all this wind, gonna go PD2. I'm okay with being short as long as I'm not too far away. That's a good line. Get there. Short, but I'm like straight ahead of it on the hill. That'll do. This certainly isn't ideal, but it's another long putt. And I'll take that today, the way things are going. Do it. Ah, that was a good run. Yeah, I feel good about those. Feel better if they were in, but those are good runs. Well, hole 8's quite a bit downhill. There's a steep drop down the hill behind it, and as you can probably hear and see, it's gotten pretty darn windy right to left. The up the gut play is really obvious. I tend to feel more comfortable with a hyzer, so I'm gonna swing it out wide, I think. I'm gonna stay in here and think about it for a minute and see whether or not I wanna do that or not, but I think I can give it plenty of space. Let's try this Justice way to the right. I just don't want to be long down the hill is the big thing. And it is parked. This was a great shot, setting it up down here so you can see how far uphill this was, or downhill, I guess. Good to be on the birdie train again. Well, this down tree is new. 9's kind of hard to film. It is up this hill and to the right. It's only like 320, 330, something like that, but it's nice and flat up at the top, but it gets kind of thick if you go long straight. If you go right, you run the risk of going down the cliff. So for me, without a big forehand or anything, I'm just trying to get up to the top and give myself a look for a long putt for birdie or for par. That should be really good, I think. I might be long and gone, we'll find out. Well, frankly, guys, based on where this ended up, I think I went right over the basket on an ace run. Now I've got a direct headwind into my face for this 40-footer. Let's give it a shot. Putting has not been good today. Oh, I read the wind well too. Oh well. Again, I thought this disc was going to be hard to find, and I saw it as soon as I got to the top of the hill, so thank God for that. Always good on this course without a spotter to have discs easy to find. Hole 10's an awesome little hole. There's a cliff right behind the tee pad here. The basket's up there under the tree. It's only like 270, 260, something like that. You can either try and force it up the gut here through this little gap or go wide hyzer, with the big risk being that there's a huge drop off and a bunch of mounds of dirt over there. So if you don't get enough hyzer, if you hit a branch and kick, you could be in a lot of trouble, lost discville. So I'm gonna go low hyzer like I usually do and hope for the best. Come back. Those weren't good, but they might be up at the top of the hill at least. Well, I am barely on the cliff here. It's nerve-wracking. See if I can cash it anyway. A lot less wind over here than back on the other side. Get up. Oh! More pars. Hole 11, cool little tunnel ace run shot. Got pretty wildflowers on the right here. This telephone pole tends to eat up a lot of discs, and so does the overhanging tree. Maybe 10, 15 feet behind the basket, it starts to go steep downhill, so distance control is really important on this one. Just keep it low and at the basket, not too far right. Okay, I'm gonna go tactic for distance control. Get down. Jesus. Not too bad. Back in the wind, probably 30-footer here. See if I can get some more metal this time. Sap on my putter. Man. Putt has not been there today at all. Well, now it is. Well, 12th and final hole, like 330, 350. It's up on a little mound over there. Lots of stuff off to the right that can eat you up. I have a straight ass headwind, so it's definitely gonna play into my disc selection, and I'm tired after chasing discs and stuff all day. But fun little course. I lost 2 discs here. Hopefully I get those back. Throwing practice throws for my in the bag. Hard to show them in the bag when they're no longer in my possession. But thanks for coming along, guys. This force is too much disc for this distance, but I am not throwing very hard right now, and I really don't want to be in this stuff to the right, so. That'll do, probably 45. All right, guys, thank you for coming along. One more circle's edge putt. See if I can cash this one. I got a good feeling about it. Wind just died down. Wow, same miss I've had all day. Wow. Oh well. Another par there. I appreciate everyone coming along. It's been Ewing Young Park in Newberg, Oregon. Fun little course. Could use some new baskets, but otherwise it's challenging. Uphill, downhill, some long holes, some short holes. A lot of fun. Thanks guys. Deuces.